Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Pip, and today we're talking about 7 Days to Die. This just in. April 20th, 2024, the Fun Pimps drop a news bomb. Yesterday, the Fun Pimps published a news release which explained the path going forward for 7 Days to Die. There's a number of major items that they touched on, and today I'd like to talk with you about them, give my opinions, and maybe see what you guys think. So, first things first, Alpha 22, which is on the horizon, is going to be known from here on out as version 1.0 of 7 Days to Die. That's right, the Fun Pimps are going gold. Let's just go through the highlights of the FAQ to begin with. So first off, the question is, why release now? Well, the Fun Pimps say that their team feels satisfied with the efforts they put out, and especially with the significant overall progress, art quality, and optimizations that have gone into the current release, slated for all PC and consoles, and that they are ready to launch. Now, this will not be the launch we were expecting with bandits and all features in, but it is a launch. It gets console out there, and it maintains consistency, so console version 1.0 will be the same now as PC version 1.0. What are some of the features in the roadmap? They also say that they are going to continue to support and keep parity with the PC, PS5, and Xbox XS series, which basically means that any updates for one should be updates for all. Will there still be early release and or experimental builds? Yes. They will still release experimental builds on Steam before going stable. Stable releases will go to console and other PC markets after they are ready. So if you're a PC gamer and you bought 7 Days to Die through Steam, then you are still going to have access to experimental builds. Console, not so much, but at least there will be a new console version out there. Will you still be able to access the older alphas? Yes. They say that they will continue to support this on Steam as long as Steam policies permit. As long as Steam allows them to keep the older versions available, they will have older versions available on Steam. And the Kickstarter stretch goals, they're working to complete all the stretch goals. Some of the features may come post-launch, but they are focused on getting all the promised content included. And if you ever heard about 7 Days to Die Apocalypse Edition, they're saying that that was a tentative name for the 1.0 release of the game. They're scrapping that in order to avoid brand confusion, so both console and the PC game will remain known as 7 Days to Die, and going forward it'll be version 1. Is there a price raise? Yes. So when they launch 1.0 stable, the standard retail price of the game will go to $44.99. Now, they are offering a last chance week-long deal on Steam from April 22nd to April 29th. So if you haven't purchased 7 Days to Die yet, this is your chance to get it as cheap as it'll ever go. Let's talk about the console version. I am not a console gamer. I game on PC, and that's about it. But I'm happy for all you console players to get a release that actually mirrors what the game currently is. So they're aiming for a release only a few weeks after the launch of PC 1.0 stable. So basically they're going to release experimental on Steam, let us PC gamers bash away at it until we get the bugs figured out, and then they'll fix those bugs and release a stable version both on PC and on console. The roadmap going ahead does cover some of that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Will the console version have crossplay? Unfortunately, not on the 1.0 release. What about the old console version? Unfortunately, the old console version is just that, the old console version. They are not going to be upgrading or updating the legacy version. In fact, they're going to be removing the legacy version from all stores. They do, however, maintain that they are closely working with Sony and Microsoft to provide a discount to legacy owners on their purchase of the new console edition. So if you did purchase the console, if all works out, you might be able to get a discount on the new version. Will the console edition get updates at the same time? Their plan is to give owners every free update that the PC version gets, keeping parity with the PC. Will the console edition get modding support? They're discussing that, but there are no concrete plans yet. So, fingers crossed. Will there be limitations or differences between the console edition and the PC on launch? Yes, of course there will. The console edition will have some limitations. First off, random gen. The console edition will have a collection of pre-generated maps and the Navigating experience. However, random gen will come in a patch soon after launch. Level prefab, editor, and world editor. The console edition will not launch with either of those. Internet connection/server connection. At launch, the console edition will be restricted to peer-to-peer games on the same platform. They intend to release crossplay in update number 1, barring any certification requirements or technical hurdles. So let's talk about the roadmap. So the first big news is that they have actually put dates on things. It's no longer it's ready when it's ready. It is now June 8/22 or version 1 will launch for the PC, which means in May we are going to get experimental. That is really close. I'm guessing it'll be mid to late May, but you never know. They might have put this out just because they were about ready. After they get the bug fixes done in the PC version, they are going to release the console version in July. Now, what's coming in version 1.0 of 7 Days to Die, it's going to be strange not saying alpha anymore. We're going to have a character system, an armor and clothing overhaul, console launch, remade vehicles. I'm guessing those are just new versions of the vehicles we already have. New animals. Now, they specified remade vehicles, but they say new animals. So I know they've been showing new versions of the animals that have been in 7 Days to Die for ages. But does new animals actually mean new animals? That's a good question. I guess we'll find out. A new gore system. I'm hoping that that's going to be similar to the blood spill effect, which is a mod that's available. They're going to introduce the new zombie variant system. So basically, you'll have Mo in a red shirt, Mo in a blue shirt, Mo in a brown shirt, and Mo with different colors of hair, and so forth. And the same for Arlene and Darlene and all the rest. Will that help it to make it look like there's more different zombies in the game? I don't know. We'll find out. They're going to have a new challenge system. Now, I'm not 100% sure what a challenge system is. I'm not sure if that's quests or something completely different. I guess we'll find out. New props and road decals. So new POIs, that'll be good. Always happy to have someplace new to explore. Okay, so that's what's happening in June or July. We're going to get the version 1.0. They also laid out a few things that are coming up in the next year, 2025, and later this year. So Q4, which is October to December of 2024, they're going to have weather system and biome progression overhaul. So hopefully that's going to mean the weather's not always going to be annoying. And the biome progression overhaul, I'm not sure what that's going to be. Maybe they're going to rebalance the different biomes so you get more or less experience and loot when you're in a different biome like the wasteland or versus the desert, etc. They've already done that to some extent, but maybe it's a rebalancing thing. Okay, and then we're getting a wardrobe system. In the initial launch, they're going to have an armor/clothing overhaul, and then in the Q4 update, they're going to have a wardrobe system. My guess is that it's going to be clothing and clothing-styled mods for armor. Things like the cowboy hat, the pressboy hat mod, those things which you can currently stick into armor and make it look like you're not wearing a helmet. Possibly more and or different clothing, something other than plant fiber perhaps, who knows. And this is when crossplay and random gen will come to consoles, or at least that's the plan. And they also say additional zombie stages. That could be different types of zombies, like right now we have normal zombies, we have radiated, we have feral, and we have mutated. Whether or not there is now going to be more, I don't know. That's kind of just a vague term, zombie stages. They're going to implement a spawn near friend option. So whether that's initial spawning into the world or after you die, not sure. We'll find out. Twitch drops. Twitch drops are coming. So if you watch a video, you might be able to get an airdrop crate or something like that. Then they're going to start with downloadable content, outfits. So, I don't know, farmer outfits, armor, new looks. Your guess is as good as mine. And then in Q2, April through June of 2025, we get the big one, bandits. The Fun Pimps have been working on bandits for, well, since I've been playing, so it looks like we're finally gonna get them. They're also planning a UI/main menu overhaul, so anyone who's been using a HUD mod will hopefully no longer need to. Hopefully they'll have a really good looking modern HUD. The event system is coming in Q2. When Prime developed the Twitch integration, which apparently he's worked on in his spare time, it was always a plan to tie that into an event system. So that Twitch integration, the underlying structure is also being used to create an event system. So I'm not sure what sort of events that's going to be. You reach point A and something happens? I don't know. Again, we'll just have to find out. Q4 2025, which is October through December, we're going to get a trader overhaul. So that will probably not be anything major as far as looks go. My guess is we might get some new animations. Maybe their lips will finally move. If we're lucky, we will get some new voices and new dialogue so that all the characters are not voiced by the same actor, except for Jen. There's also going to be story mode, which is introduced at this time. Now, story mode indicates to me that there are other modes. So perhaps, if we're lucky, it's going to be a switch in the settings, and if you turn on story mode, you can go on the White River versus the Duke factions story. Or if you turn off story mode, you're just playing 7 Days to Die like we do now, or we're just making up our own. Steam Workshop support should be coming at that point too. And Steam Workshop is basically a way to integrate mods into the game, or making it easier for modders to create mods and variations. So that is something I think that the modders have been looking for a long time, and should be coming in about a year. And finally, new quest types. Now, there's new quest types listed under Q2 2025 and Q4 2025. So, what is a new quest type? We have fetch quests, we have clear quests, we have fetch clear quests, and we have infested quests and buried supplies. 2 new quest types. I'm definitely wondering what those are going to be. I've seen some mods which put in quests where you have to speedrun a POI, or where you have to craft some bandages and take them to the POI before you run the quest, or food or something like that. But I suspect that's not what the Fun Pimps have in mind. I am curious to find out what those new quest types are going to be. Okay, so that is basically the news in a nutshell. Big news, big takeaway on this is we are getting the next version of 7 Days to Die, which will be version 1.0, sometime in May in experimental form, and then sometime in June on PCs, and then sometime in July for consoles. The console version and the PC version will be as much in parity as possible, and yeah, I think that the future's looking bright. As I mentioned earlier, there is a sale starting April 22nd, so if you haven't purchased your 7 Days to Die copy yet, get it on Steam during the sale so you don't have to pay the $44.99 retail price. So I think that's about where we're going to leave this. Thank you guys for listening. Feel free to leave comments, of course, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And this is Player Pip saying have a great day.